All right, today's Tuesday, July 28th. I been working on this bits and pieces throughout the day because this week has been hectic. So my lesson learned is don't say my next week should be light because that means it's going to be busy. So we got this running now. As you can see, there's no more binding. It helps when you have the right rivets in there. So still need to do this side, but that shouldn't be too hard. I don't know why this wants to be the bane of my existence, trying to figure out where to get click bonds, or do I want to figure out a way to mount it onto this mounting plate here, or the cover. I know a lot of people said that they did that. Just trying to figure out how I would do this, because the 2-hole nut plates or 3-hole nut plates are too big. So do I just cut one down? I mean, I could possibly do that, but then I got to dimple this. Do I really want to dimple that? I think it would look a lot cleaner if there wasn't additional studs there or screw holes. So I might just say screw it and buy the click bonds to put right in that spot. And then yeah, that's basically where I'm at right now. So I think I'm gonna take that aileron off and start drawing out the rivets over there so that I can get that one all fixed up. And let's see, I can't really start this because I still have not gotten my parts for that. And I really don't want to start the bottom skin over here until I figure out exactly where this is going to go live, because if I need to get in here, I'd rather do it while I still have easy access. So I'm kind of at a standstill still, but in the meantime, yeah, I'll figure it out. All right, I got right into this on Wednesday, just tearing everything apart, drilling out holes. This is fun trying to get those out. I did discover that using my rivet gun makes it really easier to get those rivets to come out, especially since how long they are. All right, so I got these rivets taken out. You may have noticed that I used my rivet gun and a punch set to drive these through. I discovered it was way easier to do that than trying to beat the crap out of them with a hammer, and a lot safer to do than trying to drill a hole and making it go lopsided. So now I just gotta countersink this side and then I can reset those rivets. All right, now we're countersinking. This is just more of lining up and then checking the depth every couple spins and making sure that the rivets will fit in there. Figured I'd stop here real quick just to show how much of a difference the rivets are when they're squeezed. And using this gauge, you can see that they're the right diameter. All right, setting that last rivet, and then we're gonna spray paint it, just touch up all the areas, and now I'm relocating that one mounting bracket for the conduit clip. All right, so that's been re-riveted. I relocated this clip so that there's all sorts of room in here. That should not be a problem anymore. I suppose I think I'm going to hold off on doing all the washers and whatnot because that was a pain in the butt. So I'll just put the screws on for storage to keep the aileron out of the way. And I'm not really sure what I'm going to do next. I'll try to figure that out and then I'll be back. Today is Saturday the 1st of August. I've pretty much accomplished, I'd say, mostly nothing this week. None of my parts have shipped from vans. I inquired on them on Friday morning and they got back to me in the afternoon and said that they were going to look into shipping and see why they haven't moved. I've done little bits and pieces throughout the week. Took that skin off and relocated the clip over here. I fixed that mounting bracket so now this does not interfere anymore. And then since I've been kind of like a self-imposed exile of starting new sections until these sections are done, kept on trying to figure out how I wanted to mount the pitot heater controller. I have some click bond kits on order. Now I'm kind of concerned on interference with the airlines, so I think today I'm going to work on the linkage coming from here to there and just make sure it fits. You know, I could always take it out and slide it back in when it comes time to finish doing the skins. Also this week I made some storage brackets for the various drills, guns, and squeezers. This is all using the open grid system. And I also made this drill jig so I can at least do this. So since it's easier without the pitot in there, I don't know if you can see it in this picture. I got a little drawing that shows which way this is supposed to sit. So this will sit just like that, and that hole will be perpendicular to the drill press. And you could come over here, and that hole is perpendicular to the drill press. Flip it over, same thing. So that should work pretty good. So I am going to drill and tap this today. That'll probably be the first thing that I do, and then I'll start working on the rods going in here. Or maybe I'll just start doing the ailerons since I've already, no, the flaps. Maybe I'll just start doing the flaps instead, since I've already got those done. All right, so the first thing I did was I took my number 36 drill bit for a 632 screw and put a drill stop on it, and basically just sat there and made sure that no matter where I'm drilling in, I'm not gonna hit it. So I don't know if Dynon's like relocated these tubes or people were just doing crazy stuff, but you basically have to drill in the wrong spot to go through it, but I'm still not going to take a chance. All right, that went incredibly easy for the amount of time I spent making that. Pretty confident, did not touch anything remotely close to being important. So now I just gotta tap it and see if I have any screws, and maybe I'll countersink the mast and go from there. All right, just getting ready to start tapping. After I tap each hole, I run a screw through it, and I ran it down to see how far I could get it. Basically, they're all too long, so I have to definitely order some shorter screws. And then now I'm going to countersinking the mast. This jig definitely was worth every bit of time I did putting into it to make this work. All right, so that fits in there pretty good. Probably the only problem I'm foreseeing is these screws might be a little too long. I just grabbed the shortest ones that I could find that came in one of the kits, which was an AN 507 606. When it comes time for me to do another order for parts, I'm going to put some 604 screws on there. Should be a little bit shorter and not stick out as far when it comes to actually installing it. But fortunately, the pitot tube sits in here pretty tight, so I'm still years away from flying, so I got plenty of time to actually get those screws in. But this jig came out really handy. I'm really glad I made it, and I will probably post this on Maker World later today. All right, so since I've been pulling the various parts for the aileron actuators, I just spent an unhealthy amount of time looking for a part that technically doesn't exist. So step 3 is the first step where I see that it says insert WD-1014C torque tube collars in the open ends of blah, blah, blah. Shows WD-1014C. I have not seen anywhere else in here referencing WD-1014C. I pulled up the shipping manifest. No reference whatsoever. So I said, all right, maybe they just didn't send it to me. So came over here. I searched for WD-1014C, and that's what popped up. So I'm like, oh. And then down here it says makes 2 of them. So I went into parts storage, and sure enough, I found a 7/8 diameter pipe that is 22 inches long. So that was a nice little side trek. All right, I'm gonna call this for now. It's about 6 o'clock, so I'm gonna go home, make some dinner, and I might come back tonight because there's some stuff I need to make a 5/16 spacer, so I'll just draw that up in Fusion real quick and 3D print that. I feel like these parts here are gonna go together really quickly, so I could at least get them put in so I can verify what I'm actually gonna hit before I start doing other stuff. Might be being a little paranoid, but I just really don't wanna make this any harder than it needs to be. All right, this is that mounting bracket I made for this squeezer. If anybody's interested in that, let me know, and I'll post that on Maker World as well. This is the mounting bracket I designed for drilling the pitot tubes. As you can see, it's a crude little drawing to show you how to align it. I definitely felt that was a lot easier. First thing I did when I got back today was I made a 2" by 2" by 5/16 spacer block. And then the next thing I did was made the drill jig for the W1017 rod. And then I did another one for the 1018. From here to here is 7 30-seconds on center, and here's 13 30-seconds on center. Both of these I did the center bore at a 0.025 thousandths of an inch larger, just to take into consideration any inconsistencies with 3D printing or the actual pipe itself. This is the pitot mast. I 3D scanned it and utilized that to help make that jig. And then these just got done printing, so if these work, I will put these up on Maker World for download. Since I've been home, I've discovered that my click bond plates that were supposed to ship on Friday say hold, and then I went and looked at the parts, and now they're saying August 21st. So I'll call them Monday to see what the deal is. If it's really going to be until the 21st, I'll probably just cancel the order and use some nut plates and just cut one of the holes off so that I can get that heater control box mounted to either the access panel, or maybe I'll actually just try calling Vance and see if I could do riv nuts to the spar web. I feel like from the information I found on the internet, Vance has approved much larger holes through the spar, so I can't really see them having an issue with 4 3/8 holes. So we'll see how that goes. But that's probably going to be it for this week. So I will see you guys next week. Bye.